This is part of why I can still throw pain-free. I've had surgery on both shoulders, and when I first started playing disc golf, bad form almost made me quit. So now, before I ask my shoulders to handle a full-speed throw, I try to get them ready first. Not with a long workout, just a few simple movements that help me move better, throw cleaner, and stay on the course. Last time we worked on rotation. That's the engine of the throw. Today we're moving up to the shoulders. And this one's personal for me. I've had surgery on both shoulders, so I really don't have the option to ignore this part of the game. When I first started playing disc golf, my form wasn't very good, and I definitely didn't do any mobility work. And honestly, it beat my shoulders up. There was a point I almost quit playing. Not because I didn't love the game, I did, but because I didn't know if my shoulder was going to let me keep playing. So for a long time, I found a way around it. I started throwing forehand, and I leaned on that for years. That helped me stay on the course, but eventually I wanted to be a more rounded player. I didn't want to have only one option off the tee, so I had to start working on two things: how my shoulders moved and how I was actually throwing. And that's what changed things for me. I'm not saying a shoulder routine magically fixes everything, it doesn't. But when I warm up, I move better, and when my form is cleaner, I can throw pain-free. That matters. Because as Masters players, protecting the shoulders isn't about playing scared. It's about doing the work that lets you keep playing. Here's what I think a lot of us miss. The shoulder is not just one joint doing one thing. You've got the rotator cuff, the shoulder blade, the muscles around that, the way both sides move together, and if that system isn't moving well, your throw is going to expose it. That's why this isn't about stretching the spot that hurts. It's about checking how the whole shoulder system is moving before we ask it to throw full speed. And that's what Dr. Pannell is going to walk us through today. Not just where does it hurt, but are both sides moving the way they should. So I brought Dr. Jarrett Pannell back for this one. And I like this because he's not just saying stretch your shoulder. He's looking at how the shoulder blades move, how both sides compare, how much range you should actually have, and how to work on it without forcing it into pain. These are simple movements. An ab roller if you have one, a towel if you don't. You need a wall, a stick, or a wand. That's it. Dr. Pannell, take it away.
The next set of stretches that we're going to talk about in this series is going to be related to the shoulder. The shoulder, which includes the rotator cuff and then several other muscles that have rotating scapula or the shoulder blade, is very complex. It works as a gear or a column system. And when one of those muscles or tissues is injured, what can happen is you get overcompensations and the system tends to collapse down on itself. So what we're going to be looking at through this entire series of exercises here is symmetry. Symmetry is extremely important to us. Whatever one muscle group does or one side, I want the other muscle group or other side to do the same. So the first exercise that we're going to go after is just overhead flexion with an ab roller. Now, we're going to start with the ab roller. I'm aware that some people do not know an ab roller. We will teach the variation of that in just a second. What Cohen's going to do is he's going to come straight up to the wall. Cohen is going to look straight forward, and he's going to pick up points that he wants to reach towards. So for our purposes, we're just going to reach as high as we can. He's going to keep his hands symmetrical on the wall, and he's going to draw an imaginary line all the way up to this point. He's going to roll that ab roller all the way up, and then lightly lean forward. Now, the lean may not be suitable for you. If you have a previous history of a rotator cuff injury or impingement syndrome, we may just need to work on standing closer to the wall and getting you up overhead. Now, me as a physical therapist, what I'm looking at here is I'm looking at scapular biomechanics. I'm looking for, as he reaches overhead with that roller, I'm looking for his shoulder blades. Now, it's going to be a little difficult to see because he does it through his shirt, but I'm looking for his shoulder blades to set and rotate symmetrically. A lot of times what I will see with a person that has a current injury is I will see a set and I will not see the rotation. I will see a slide. And what that will lead to is somebody that's leaning off to the right, and we will get to start to see a lean. Now, this is something that we want to correct early on. We want to make sure they're staying on their line, and if they cannot fully extend, we want to make sure they're just going right to the point before they break form. And that's okay. We just need to start working slowly. Now, if you don't have an ab roller, you can use a dish towel, and it's very, very similar. And usually what I teach with a dish towel is you want to make a diamond with your hands. So Cohen's going to make that diamond, and then he's just going to take that dish towel and slide it straight up, just like we did. And he's going to lean a little bit if he needs to. The motion is the exact same. The stretch should be very similar. Sometimes with the ab roller, you can get a little bit deeper of a stretch, and you can kind of feel that more through the chest. But for general population, if you're just out and about, a dish towel work, or even your disc golf towel.
Picture your reach back, not the disc, the shoulder. If one side reaches easy and the other side fights you, That's something you need to know before you start throwing full speed. This gives you a simple way to check that. Can both sides move? Can you stay on the line? Can you get overhead without cheating? That matters before you ever step on the tee.
I don't have fancy names for this stretch. We usually just call them bent arm overhead reaches. But we are going to start working on mechanics. And what is very, very important with the shoulder is an open packed position. So what I usually tell people is make finger guns. So most of these exercises, you're going to have finger guns. And what I mean by that is you want to keep your thumb in an upright position, a thumbs up. So you can see on his hand right here, his thumbs are technically in an upright position. He's got his finger guns. And what this does is it keeps the shoulder as open as possible and it prevents the shoulder from impinging or getting bound up. So with this exercise, once again, we are looking for symmetry. But what we're going to do is we're going to bend our elbows to about 90 degrees. And then at this point, Cohen is going to slowly reach overhead. At this point, once Cohen reaches full overhead, he is going to try to touch his thumbs to the wall symmetrically at the exact same time. Now, most people will have one side that touches before the other, or one side that just truly won't touch at all. And that's okay. We just need to make sure that we can get overhead safely without pain. Now, if we come all the way up and we come to about right here and say Cohen starts to get really, really tight, he's not able to reach overhead fully. It's okay. What I want to make sure is we're stretching, but we're not having pain. So if this is all the motion that you have right now, that's okay. Just undo it, come all the way back down, and work in the available motion that your body gives you. Your goal with this is to get a little bit further each time, just a little bit. We don't stretch into pain. No pain, no gain is great when you're working out. In a stretching scenario, we want to be careful with that.
This one's big for me because when my shoulders aren't ready, my throws tell on me. I'll either shorten the motion or I'll start finding extra movement somewhere else. And that's usually where compensation starts. So this isn't about forcing your arms higher. It's about seeing what your shoulders can actually give you today.
The next variation of this is extremely similar. It's just going to add a little bit more of a momentum or a moment arm, so it's a longer distance away. So it's a more advanced stretch. So what Cohen's going to do is he's going to start with a straight arms. He still has his upward thumbs, and at this point, obviously we no longer have a bent arm. It is going to be a little bit more difficult for you to do this. So if you do have a shoulder problem or you're not prepared for that, stay with the bent arm. It's okay until you can get to this point. Now he's going to slowly reach up overhead, and nothing changes at this point. We still want to get the thumbs to touch at the exact same time. So one thing I do want to mention, if you can bring that camera over here for us, the arch of the back is extremely important with this. Now Cohen is doing a very good job. I don't know if you can see my hand behind here, but you should not have much off the ball. Now, if Cohen was to have too tight in his lats, or he's cheating or compensating, he will start to arch his back to get his thumbs to touch the wall. We do not want to do this. We want to make sure that we're stretching with a flat back and that we have proper mechanics while we do this. Now, he's just going to unravel this and come back. If you are having difficulty, you're finding you can't reach that far and you're finding yourself arching, what you can do is you can pull your feet away from the wall just a little bit. But keep your rear ends and keep your back flat against the wall, and this will give you a little more stability so you don't lose balance.
This is where ego can sneak in. You want to get the thumbs to the wall so you arch your back, or you force the position, but that's not helping your throw. That's just finding a workaround. And I already spent years playing around shoulder problems. I don't want to fake the movements anymore. I want clean movement I can actually use.
The next exercise that we're going to move into is going to be more of an extension stretch. Now, we've talked about a couple extension stretches earlier in previous videos, but what we're going to do is have you come away from the wall column. And what you're going to do is we're going to take this wand, maintain our forward thumbs, and we are going to have Cohen reach that wand up behind his back. Good. Now he's going to take that wand and grab onto it. Good. Just like that. And now we are going to start stretching the fronts of the arms here. Okay. He's also going to be stretching a little bit more of the muscles up the back, but what we're going after here is more the front of the arms and just reaching behind. So he's going to slide that all the way up his back as high as he can tolerate. Good. And then back down. Very good. Back up. And back down.
This one connects to the part of the shoulder I used to ignore, the front side. And for disc golfers, that can get tight fast. You got throwing, lifting, sitting, working, all of it adds up. So if the front of the shoulder is locked down, your throw is going to find a way around it. And usually, that's not a better way.
The last shoulder mobility stretch is going to be extremely similar to this one. We're going to have him rotate over, keep his thumbs. The thumbs are extremely important on this one because it changes what you're going to stretch. For my ideology and my purposes, what I'm going to be stretching is more the anterior delt and the bicep tendon. You may get a little bit of pec involved here, but we're going to be going more after the bicep tendon in front of the shoulder. So what Cohen is going to do, he's going to keep a good straightforward posture, head forward, and he is going to slowly lift this one straight backwards. This is one of those exercises that you will find that one side is generally tighter than the other. And what you can do as a little test is you can actually scoot back towards the wall and use this as a gauge. So he's going to reach back and he's going to see if one hand hits the wall before the other. If one hand hits the wall before the other, we know that that side's a little bit tighter. If he just smacks both hands against the wall, he needs to move out, find where he can touch the wall but still get a good stretch. As you progress through this stretch, you may have to move a little. But the whole goal here is to make sure you're feeling stretch in the front of the shoulders and the pecs. Now, one key piece here, I do not want to see Cohen flex forward at all. So if we start to notice that we're dipping forward or we look like one of those dipping birds, what we need to do is make sure our chest is staying upright, we're looking forward. We're not straight military posture because we need to have some laxity about us. And we don't want to be looking straight up. We just need to make sure that we're looking forward and have a broad chest. And one more time. Good.
This is probably my favorite part of the whole routine because the wall doesn't care what you think you have. It shows you. If one side gets there first or one side doesn't get there at all, that's information, not failure, information. And for Masters players, that's the goal. Know what your body is giving you before you ask it to throw hard. How many times a week, how many days a week do we need to do these?
Yeah, that's a great question. Depending on what your ailment is, right? If you're struggling more with the shoulder, this is something that I would try to teach every single day. Personally, I use these stretches before my workouts. Somebody like Cohen, who we met earlier, uses these before every single workout of his. They are our basic overall mobility stretches. I would generally say every day is okay. If you're going to be somewhere in that 3 to 5 times a week time, that's okay. But it's the same repetitions, 10 to 15 times. We don't need to do these 50 times to 100 times a day. It's a little bit unnecessary. 15 to 20 at a time would be okay.
Like one set of 15 to 20 a day?
Yeah.
Okay.
It depends on how many you're stringing together. If you want to have a full day of mobility stretching with all the stretches and all the videos that we're going to talk about, feel free, but you may be a little bit too loose on the course.
That last part is important. This doesn't need to become a workout. One set, 10 or 20 reps, most days of the week, and before a round. Just enough to keep moving. Not so much that you lose the feel. That's something I actually stick with. And for me, that's the key. If it's too complicated, I won't do it. But if it's simple and it helps me throw without pain, I'm going to make time for it. Here's the big takeaway. For me, shoulder work is not about trying to become more flexible just to be more flexible. It's about being ready to throw. It's about giving both shoulders a chance to move well. It's about not showing up cold and expecting repair shoulders to handle full speed throws right away. That's the master's lesson here. We can't always show up, throw hard, and expect everything to feel fine. That doesn't mean we have to play scared though. It means we have to prepare better. And if a short mobility routine helps me throw pain-free, that's worth doing. Because I don't want to just play this year. I want to keep playing. When we were younger, a lot of us could get away with more. No warming up, bad habits, bad form, and maybe our bodies would let it slide for a while. But eventually, the game tells you the truth. For me, it showed up in my shoulders, and I had to make a choice. Either keep working around it or start working on it. And that doesn't mean I have it all figured out, but it does mean I'm paying attention. I'm warming up, I'm trying to move better, I'm trying to throw cleaner, because protecting the shoulder is not about backing off. It's about staying on the course, round after round, year after year. That's the master's game. And that's why this channel exists. In the next video, we're going to look at one of those areas that take forever to calm down once it gets irritated, the elbow. Forehand, backhand, it gets worked, and sometimes it gets overworked. And for some Masters players, that nagging elbow issue might be the one that matters the most. So we'll look at what Dr. Pannell recommends there next. If you're a Masters player looking to play smarter and play longer, this channel is built for you. Subscribe, get out and throw. After your mobility work, of course, play smarter, play longer.